Exposed. The incredible journey of a nanny who transformed a millionaire's daughter's life forever. Lila stood in front of the Sinclair mansion, her heart racing. A sprawling estate with pristine white columns. It looked like something out of a movie. Luxury cars lined the driveway, shimmering in the afternoon sun like polished gems. In small-town Ohio, her life revolved around budgeting tightly, stretching every dollar to meet her student loans and bills. Now, Lila found herself the nanny to Emma Sinclair, the daughter of one of the city's wealthiest families. This life felt surreal. Little did she know, the real magic was yet to unfold. Emma, with her big blue eyes and nervous smile, greeted Lila like an unexpected guest. Underneath the layers of privilege, Lila discovered a lonely soul. With each playdate, Lila shared anecdotes about backyard adventures, flying kites, chasing fireflies, fulfilling the childhood Emma could barely reach for amid strict schedules and society's expectations. Lila filled Emma's world with laughter, igniting hope and connection. They danced on the kitchen floor, baked cookies, and had heart-to-heart chats in the twilight, wrapped in a blanket fort. For Lila, these moments meant everything. She was painting colors on the canvas of a muted existence. Yet, it wasn't too long before the whispered secrets of the Sinclair family spiraled out of control. A scandal involving Emma's father hit the headlines like an oncoming storm. Exposé. Sinclair scandal rocks suburban elite, blared the papers, sending shockwaves through their sheltered community. Lila watched the light drain from Emma's eyes, a vibrant world collapsing into shadows. The once carefree laughter turned to worried silence. The walls of the mansion became a prison, echoing tension and unease. Lila felt the weight of expectations pressed against her own heart. Could she bridge the divide of class and family expectations now swirling like a whirlwind around them? Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Lila's resolve solidified. Maybe it was her humble upbringing or the hard-won lessons of resilience, but she knew she had to help Emma rise from the ashes. In the quietest of moments, she opened up about her own life, weaving tales of her family's struggles to keep the lights on. Each story resonated, wrapping around Emma like a warm embrace. Suddenly, the mansion didn't feel so cold. Lila saw the flicker of hope in Emma's eyes. But as the pressure mounted, Emma's mother pulled Lila aside, her voice sharp as she issued an ultimatum. Your place here is at stake, Lila. Just when Lila thought their bond was unbreakable, it felt as if everything was teetering on thin ice. Would their friendship survive the trials ahead? The battle between loyalty and social status raged between them, threatening to tear apart a connection forged through warmth and understanding. With the world around them crumbling, Lila and Emma stood at a pivotal moment. Could they rise together, challenge the very fabric of their realities, or would fear drive them apart forever? Lila barely slept that night, her thoughts racing like the wind outside. The ticking of the clock in the elegant hallway seemed louder with each passing moment, marking the weight of uncertainty hanging in the air. Would Emma's mother really let her go? Would Emma have to face the storm alone? The morning light spilled into the nursery, soft and golden. Lila worked over the breakfast table, pouring cereal into bowls as she listened to the sounds of the mansion waking up. Emma shuffled in, her usually bright demeanor dimmed by the ongoing turmoil. She sat quietly, pushing her cereal around with her spoon, the weight of unspoken words hanging between them. Lila started gently. We can talk about it, you know. I'm here for you. Emma finally looked up, her blue eyes shining with unshed tears. What if my mom is right? What if I don't deserve you? Lila felt her chest tighten. You deserve to feel happy and free, just like everyone else. You're not defined by your last name. The little girl's brow furrowed. But that last name brings a lot of expectations. Lila placed her hand on Emma's, and it can also bring a lot of pressure. What do you want? Emma paused, contemplating deeply. I want to be a kid just like you show me. I want to run and play and not worry about being perfect. She hesitated, her voice barely a whisper. I want to laugh again. As that admitted wish hung in the air, Lila felt a surge of determination. No matter the cost, she would help Emma reclaim her joy. They finished breakfast in silence, and as Lila cleared the table, she brainstormed ideas, simple adventures that would pull Emma out of her cocoon. That afternoon, Lila set the plan in motion. She concocted an excuse for a day off from the mansion after all. The little girl needed actual sunlight, laughter. She needed to see life beyond the imposing walls. Let us have a picnic at the park, she exclaimed, unable to hide her excitement. The drive felt thrillingly dangerous in a way that was both terrifying and freeing. Lila glanced at Emma, her heart swelling at the flicker of excitement returning to her eyes. Lila could feel the pulse of hope. They chose their favorite snacks, packed a blanket, and off they went, diving headfirst into what felt like their first real moment of liberation. When they arrived at the park, the air was different. It was alive, vibrant with children laughing, couples strolling, and the rich scent of blooming flowers surrounding them like confetti. Emma's face lit up like a firework. As they laid down the blanket, Lila watched Emma run free, twirling under the sun, arms outstretched. Lila joined her, and for that moment, nothing else mattered, just joy, laughter, and the bond of friendship. But then, a familiar voice broke through their bubble of happiness. Emma, there you are. Lila turned to see Emma's mother, looking stern and out of place in her designer suit against the picnic scene. Her heart sank. The world came rushing back in. The weight of expectation, the scandal, and the threat to their fragile world. Emma froze, and reality's grip began to tighten around them once more. Mom! Emma's voice wavered, and Lila could see the flicker of fear igniting in her young eyes. Just then, the tension snapped. What would Emma choose? Would she stand up for herself, or would she crumble under the weight of her mother's glare? Lila knew they were at a crossroads, and whatever happened next would define the path of their journey together. Would it lead to freedom, or would fear wrap them back in chains? Things are about to change, Lila murmured to herself, fear and wonder intertwining in her heart. What awaited them on the other side of this confrontation? She could feel the storm brewing again, and her breath caught. Emma held her breath too, the question hanging between them. Emma's heart was pounding. The sight of her mother, arms crossed and eyes narrowed, snapped her back to a reality she had been trying so hard to escape. Emma, we need to go home now, her mother commanded, her tone flat as winter ice. The other park-goers faded away, their laughter and chatter becoming distant echoes in Emma's ears. Lila felt a surge of protectiveness. This was their moment to shine, to reclaim the joy that had been stripped away for too long. No, wait, she said, stepping forward. Emma and I were just stay out of this, Lila. Emma's mother shot back, her voice sharp. This isn't your concern. But it was. Lila wasn't going to let fear take away the brightness she had just glimpsed in Emma's eyes. Actually, it is my concern. Emma is my friend, and she deserves to choose where she wants to be right now. Emma shifted between the two women, her heart torn. She wanted to run to Lila and hide, but the weight of her mother's stare felt like a chain pulling her back. Mom, I don't start with me, young lady, her mother interrupted, her voice firm and unyielding. You are coming home with me. You have responsibilities. Lila took a deep breath, steadying herself, the world narrowing to just the three of them. Responsibility shouldn't mean sacrificing happiness, she said, her heart racing. If you let Emma be herself, you might find that responsibility doesn't have to be such a burden. For a moment, there was silence, save for the distant sounds of laughter and birds chirping. Emma looked up at her mother, searching for some trace of understanding. The tension between them was palpable, like a taut string ready to snap. Mom, please. Emma's voice quivered, tears filling her eyes. Lila felt her own heart ache in sympathy. I need to be me. I want to laugh again. Lila held her breath as she watched Emma's mother's expression shift slightly, uncertainty flashing for a split second before it hardened again. You don't understand, Emma. You have a reputation to uphold. Then help me build a new one, Emma implored, her voice breaking. I want to be happy, not perfect. Lila could see a battle unfolding in Emma's eyes, fear against hope. It was a fight she recognized all too well. She stepped closer, resting her hand gently on Emma's shoulder. You don't have to do this alone, Emma. I'm right here with you. As if the air was charged with electricity, a subtle shift occurred. Emma's gaze held her mother's, a challenge simmering beneath the surface. Would she choose to fight? Would she dare to defy? Don't you want to see me happy? Emma whispered, her voice stronger. There was a moment, just a moment, where time stood still. Lila watched as her heart raced in synchronization with Emma's. Would this be the moment that changed everything? But then, Emma's mother snapped back into her resolute self. I'm your mother. You'll do as I say. Tension in the air thickened, like a storm ready to break. Lila's palms were sweaty, and she could feel the seriousness of this moment settling over them. What would Emma do next? Would she stand up and declare her own path, or would fear silence her once again? Lila felt the stakes rising, aware that the call for courage had just been sounded. Emma looked at Lila, and for that fleeting second, something unfurled within her. Mom, I choose. The atmosphere crackled with anticipation, and Lila couldn't tear her eyes away. Whatever came next would shape everything that followed, but would it be the choice they had fought for, or the one that kept them chained? The tension hung heavy between them like a drawn bowstring, waiting to snap. Mom, I choose. Emma started, each word trembling on her lips like a fragile leaf, ready to be carried by the wind. But then, the moment shattered with a soundless crack. The weight of expectation pulled her back, and she faltered. Lila watched in horror as the light in Emma's eyes dimmed, the battle inside her waning. Emma, don't make this harder than it needs to be, her mother replied, a hint of desperation hidden behind her rigid exterior. But the determination in Emma's posture wavered, like a candle flickering in a draft. I just want to, Emma whispered, searching for the words that seemed to elude her. I want to be me. Lila's heart sank. She could feel the fierce urge to scream at Emma's mother for trapping her friend in a gilded cage. Instead, she clenched her fists, feeling the fire of rebellion stir within her. She had seen Emma laugh, seen her spirit rekindle, and she couldn't let that disappear. It's not just about responsibilities, Lila interjected, stepping closer. It's about living. It's about making a choice for once that's just yours. The crowd around them began to dissipate, but Lila was sure they were all witnesses to Emma's moment of truth. She could see the onlookers casting glances, murmurs rippling through them, their eyes filled with curiosity and concern. Emma, her mother said, her voice lowering to a jagged whisper, think of what people will say. You're throwing away everything we've worked for. I don't care, Emma shouted, surprising even herself. The sound echoed in the stillness. Felt like she had struck a match in a dark room. Emma, this time her mother's voice cracked, revealing the exhaustion lurking beneath her stern facade. Yes, I want to build something new. I want to laugh, to be free, not just be some image you've created. Emma's defiance ignited. In that moment, Lila saw the real Emma making a comeback, the girl who was tired of living in someone else's shadow. But fear crept into Emma's eyes as she glanced back at Lila. Was this fight worth it? Would her mother really take her away, locking her back inside those suffocating expectations? Emma, don't do this. You're making a mistake, her mother pleaded. But the iron grip on Emma's heart was loosening, a small victory for her spirit. I'm choosing for myself, Mom, Emma shouted. And that's not a mistake. Lila felt her heart skip. Would this be enough to tip the scales? The air around them brimmed with intensity, capturing the audience's attention like a spell. Emma's mother appeared taken aback, her expression swirling between irritation and confusion. And then it happened. Emma took a step back, her shoulders squared, and for the first time, she truly looked at her mother. I'm not going back until you can accept me, all of me. Emma, her mother's voice faltered. Outside, the sun began to set, casting a warm golden glow over the park, transforming shadows into a gentle illumination. Please, Emma choked. Just listen to me for once. The moment hung thick with urgency. Lila felt her breath catch, every corner of her internal world quivering with hope. Would this be the moment when Emma's mother found a way to truly see her? Or would her defenses hold strong, pushing Emma back into silence? As silence enveloped them, Lila wondered, could this be a turning point? What awaited them on the other side of this confrontation? Emma took a step forward, ready to share a truth that could change everything. Would her mother choose to listen, or would she turn away once again? The air was electric as Emma's heart raced. She could feel every eye in the gathering crowd, some sympathetic, some judgmental, piercing through the moment. It felt like standing at the edge of a cliff, ready to dive into the unknown. She glanced at Lila, who nodded encouragingly, her eyes filled with determination. Mom, Emma began, her voice steadier this time. I need to explore who I am without the weight of your dreams dragging me down. I want to find my own path. Her mother shifted uncomfortably, her arms crossed tightly against her chest, a dam of emotions threatening to burst. You don't understand the consequences of this kind of choice, she insisted, but the edge in her tone faltered just a bit, as if a crack had begun to form in the armor she had built. Maybe I don't, Emma retorted, fire igniting in her belly. But I do know what I want. I need this. I want to figure out what makes me happy, what makes me me. As she spoke, her words took on a new intensity. The crowd let out a collective breath as if they mirrored her struggle, sharing the weight of her revelation. Lila's heart raced. She could hardly bear to watch the face-off, but she knew this was a pivotal moment. Even as the sun dipped lower in the sky, the warmth of the fading light bathed the park in soft hues, an almost surreal backdrop to the high-stakes familial conflict unfolding. Emma, you could lose everything, her mother warned softly. But there was less bite now, an undercurrent of fear that felt all too real. What is everything without happiness? Mom? Emma pressed, feeling the pull of newfound courage. I can't keep living in shadows. Do you realize how that feels? To be someone I'm not? To do all of this for someone else and not for myself? A silence fell between them that was thick and pregnant with truths waiting to be spoken. Emma's plea hovered, echoing far beyond the confines of their conflict, touching a universal chord that wrapped around everyone within earshot. For a moment, Lila could see the walls around Emma's mother begin to tremble. She blinked, the tiniest hint of vulnerability flickering across her features. Perhaps, just perhaps, there was a glimmer of understanding buried beneath the layers of expectation and pride. Mom, Emma pressed softly, her voice trembling with emotion. All I want is to have the freedom to choose my own future, to make mistakes and learn. Don't you remember what it felt like to dream big? When did that stop? The air shifted again, a breath of hope punctuating their standoff. Emma's mother opened her mouth, but the words caught in her throat like stones. Lila held her breath, feeling the world around them shrink to that singular moment, waiting for the answer that could shatter the tension holding them captive. What if I don't know how to accept you? It was a whisper, almost swallowed by the breeze. Then let us learn together, Emma urged, heart pounding. But as that final plea hung in the air, an unexpected voice cut through the hushed tension. Look, we all have our own battles, but this is about Emma now. It was a stranger from the crowd, stepping forward with unwavering conviction. She deserves to be seen like all of us do. Emma's heart swelled with possibility. Maybe the tide was finally shifting. Maybe her mother would find a way to understand. But with that moment of hope came a twinge of fear. What if this was just another false dawn? As the final rays of sunlight kissed the horizon, Emma grasped the edges of her resolve, ready to continue the fight. But would her mother finally meet her halfway? Or would fear and past expectations drown out this fledgling courage? Time stretched uneasily, and the next word might change everything. Emma's chest tightened, and her eyes searched her mother's face for any sign, any glimmer of acceptance. The crowd seemed to lean in closer, their breaths held like they, too, were a part of this fragile confrontation. Each second felt like an eternity, the world around her fading into muted whispers and rustling leaves. Finally, her mother took a deep breath, her expression split between anguish and hope. I just don't want to see you hurt," she managed, her voice cracking under the weight of hidden fears. "Everything I've worked for, it was for you to have a comfortable life. I know, Mom." Emma felt the walls inside her mother inch closer to collapsing. "But I can't carry that vision. What if it's not what I want?" The crowd watched, a tapestry of faces reflecting various stories and struggles, all woven together in solidarity with Emma's resolve. Lila felt her heart race, caught between wanting to intervene and respecting the rawness of this family moment. She held on to hope that perhaps today would be a turning point. "Can't you see? I just want the chance to find my own happiness, even if it means stumbling along the way." Emma's voice held a powerful softness, laced with vulnerability. "I want to be someone who makes choices for herself, not someone who is defined by what others expect." Her mother's breath fluttered, and the shadows that danced across her face suggested a flicker of realization. "What if I lose you? What if this pursuit changes you for the worse?" Her voice was trembling, every word heavy with worry. Emma stepped closer, her heart guiding her. "Maybe losing each other is part of finding out who we are. But it doesn't have to be final. It can be a chance to grow closer through this." The answer hung suspended in the air, hovering like a fragile bubble ready to pop. Lila saw the shift, a seed of doubt in the mother's heart, planting the idea that maybe, just maybe, this was a chance to connect rather than divide. Before her mother could respond, the man who had spoken earlier, the stranger from the crowd, tossed in a lifeline. "What if it didn't change who you are, but rather it revealed the most genuine version of your daughter?" His voice was steady and confident, rallying the onlookers to support Emma's fight for independence. Emma's mother turned, visibly shaken, her brows knitted together. "But what if I can't accept that?" "Perhaps acceptance is a journey, not a destination," the stranger replied, glancing at Emma. "It's going to take time for both of you to redefine your relationship, to listen and learn. That's what love is, right? Love." The word echoed in Emma's mind, pulling at every nerve. Was there still love buried under the weight of expectation? "I love you, Mom," Emma whispered, tears welling up in her eyes. "I just want you to see me. Not the dream you had, but the person I aspire to be." Her mother trembled, lips twitching as if she were about to speak. Emma could see the wheels turning in her mind, the struggle between conditioning and desire crashing inside her. And then empathy kindled within the crowd, a sense of unity pulling them closer together. Maybe I need to see more of you first," her mother finally said, her voice barely a whisper, but it hung heavy in the air. "I suppose I've just been so afraid." As the last light of day dimmed around them, Lila felt the weight of the world dissolve just a little. They were turning to face one another, but everything still felt tenuous, precious. Emma wanted to reach out and pull her mother into an embrace, but she also felt the need to stay grounded. They were still standing on shaky ground. But what happens next? Emma wondered, her heart racing as anticipation mixed with uncertainty. Would her mother take the leap alongside her, or would they drift in different directions? As she absorbed the revelation, an unsettling thought dawned on her. What if her journey to herself was only just beginning, and the confrontation was merely the first step into unknown territory? The crowd held its collective breath, waiting on the edge of a promise that soon might unfold, and the evening air was thick with endless possibilities. The air felt charged with unspoken words, and the crowd lingered in silence, caught in the fragile intersection of love and fear. Emma's heart raced. Every second stretched like taffy, drawing tension that could snap at any moment. Her gaze was locked on her mother, a whirlwind of emotions playing out on their faces. Emma's mother inhaled deeply, her lips pressed tight. "You're right," she finally whispered, sounding a bit more certain, "but I don't know how to let go. I've built so much around keeping you safe. And I appreciate that, more than you know," Emma said, her voice quivering with openness. "But safety isn't everything. Sometimes it feels guarded. I want to feel free, to explore what life has for me. Lila bit her lip, a mix of hope and trepidation coursing through her. Gaining independence felt like treading water in a vast ocean, thrilling but daunting. She wished she could share her own experiences, how stepping out of her comfort zone brought her a profound sense of belonging. Even when it was messy, her mother looked at her with a mix of vulnerability and disbelief, the knot in her brow easing just slightly. What if you fail, Emma? What if you take this journey and it leads you away from home, away from me? Mom, I promise I'll always return. Failing isn't the end. It's just a part of the process. This is about becoming who I'm meant to be. I feel it in my bones, Emma said, her confidence climbing back up. The response hung in the air, each member of the crowd breathing as one, a silent fraternity of the ambitious and the afraid. Lila stood there feeling a flicker of hope in her chest, wishing for Emma's mother to grasp the courage to lean into the unknown. Maybe we can both learn from this, her mother finally replied, a hint of warmth surfacing in her uncertain tone. It doesn't mean you're leaving forever. It means finding our footing together at a different angle. Emma tried to read her mother's expression, searching for a deeper understanding in those familiar yet complex features. Yes, let us do that. I want to include you in this. The crowd exhaled collectively, a soft wave of relief washing through them. Muffled whispers of encouragement began to circulate, emboldened by what they had just witnessed. Emma's mother took a hesitant step forward, reaching out for Emma's hand, and in that moment, the world around them appeared brighter, as if the very air sparkled with promise, a connection forged anew, over the threshold of fear and into the light of understanding. The weight of expectations began to lift, and for the first time in a long time, hope sprung with vibrant clarity. Let us take it one step at a time, okay? Her mother said, squeezing Emma's hand. I don't want to lose you, and I want to get to know you again. A soft smile stretched across Emma's face, warmth flooding her chest. But beneath that joy loomed the echoes of doubt and the uncertainty of what lay ahead. While her mother was willing to take this leap, what would that truly mean for their family dynamic? Thank you, Emma replied, emotions bubbling. This means so much to me. I promise I won't shut you out. But as they embraced, an unsettling thought pierced through Emma's newfound hope. What if this journey, this bridge they were building, didn't end with a warm embrace but rather opened the Pandora's box of deeper struggles yet to come? The crowd began to disperse, their murmurs of support fading into the backdrop. Yet Lila remained a witness to the monumental shift unfolding before her eyes. She felt compelled to encourage Emma, knowing a heart open to experiences meant embracing both the beautiful and the heartbreaking. Emma, Lila called, her voice catching her attention. What's next for you? Do you have a plan? Emma turned to Lila, the weight of determination etched into her features. I need to find out where my path lies, but I'm scared of what it could reveal. As the last remnants of daylight faded, an electric tension filled the air. Emma stood on the edge of everything she had ever known and everything she was about to discover. Would she find, not just herself but also redefine who she was in the lives of those she loved most? In that moment, she realized the journey might shake the very foundation of her heart, and not everyone would welcome the changes with open arms. But for every door she may close, new ones would surely open. And as she looked at her mother, that paradox formed in her mind. Was the risk worth the potential heartbreak? Emma took a deep breath, knowing that the uncertain path ahead could lead her home or far, far away from it. Would courage emerge from this confrontation? Or was it simply the beginning of chaos? Emma felt a sudden chill as the darkness wrapped around her. It was as if the night sky itself was a blanket of uncertainty. The last light of day dipped below the horizon, leaving behind hues of violet and deep orange. Yet her heart was fixed on the shadows ahead. Lila, always the one with bright ideas, moved beside Emma, her sincerity rushing in like the warmth of a shared memory. So what's on your mind? She asked, her eyes bright but steady. Emma blinked, momentarily lost in her thoughts. I guess I just need to figure out who I want to be without all this pressure, she admitted. The words felt heavy yet freeing, like wings catching a strong gust of wind. What if you start by exploring your passion? You collect art like most people collect stamps, Lila suggested. Maybe it's time to turn that into something real? Emma considered this, excitement sparking in her gut. What if I created a project to bring art into the community? Something where everyone can partake? I could finally channel what I love into something meaningful. In that moment, a smile broke over Emma's face, illuminating the deep furrows of worry. For once, she wasn't focused on what lay behind her. She was counting what could lie ahead. The bubbling joy turned her fears into mere ripples on the surface of her ocean. That sounds incredible, Lila said, mirroring her enthusiasm. You could showcase local artists, host workshops, create a space for expression. Could be your stepping stone. Emma felt the waves of possibilities crashing against her insecurities. It's a risk, though. It might not go well, Lila nudged her shoulder playfully. But if it does, you'll discover layers of yourself that you never knew existed. Looking at Lila, Emma could see the conviction in her friend's eyes. Maybe it was time to leap, to trust that her ambitions could manifest into something tangible, something worthy of being shared. And just as hope ignited, Emma's heart sank. But what if my mom doesn't approve of me diving deeper into art? What if she thinks I'm wasting my time? Lila's brows knit in thought before she replied. Then it's up to you to show her it's not a waste. Show her the freedom it provides you. Help her understand. The idea sent a ripple of uncertainty through Emma. Would her mother really embrace this new path? It felt like stepping into a theater. The stage set for a performance where she wouldn't know the script until it unfolded before her eyes. That night, doubts continued to gnaw at Emma. What if taking this plunge fractured the growing bond she had just begun to weave with her mother? Was she prepared for the possibility that there could be pushback? As if in synchronicity with her thoughts, her phone buzzed with a message from her mother. I'm proud of you, Emma. Always remember that. Those words carved deep into Emma's heart, drawing tears of gratitude yet again. Her mother's warmth connected with Emma's growing resolve, filling her soul with a deeper understanding of love that transcended the fear they'd both been holding on to. But would that love remain steadfast as their worlds shifted? Taking a deep breath, Emma settled into her bed, the soft comfort of hope wrapping around her. She would dive into her project, embracing the joy it could bring and the lessons it could teach. But the looming question tickled her thoughts, persistent and nagging, urging clarity. What would the journey reveal when art collided with the life she knew? Here, in the hushed rhythms of the night, she allowed herself to drift into sleep, visions of canvases and community dancing in her dreams, but not without the looming worry that emerged like a specter, asking if the journey she was about to embark on would draw her closer or push her further away from home. Emma woke the next morning, sunlight spilling through her curtains, igniting the room in a warm glow. Her dreams still fluttered in the corners of her mind, bits of laughter, colors splashing across canvases, community murals telling stories of heart and hope. But as she took in the day, the restless undercurrent of uncertainty returned to her with a bite. She rolled out of bed, stretching her arms toward the ceiling as if trying to reach that very warmth she sought. She grabbed her sketchbook from the desk and flipped through the pages filled with ideas. There were rough drafts of workshops, sketches of spaces transformed by art, and a vision board teeming with potential. It all felt so vivid and alive. After a quick breakfast, she made her way to the park, the heart of the small town where she hoped to host her project. The morning air was crisp, carrying laughter from kids playing on swings, and the sweet scent of blossoming flowers. Finding a quiet bench, she took a deep breath, stilling her racing heart. Emma opened her sketchbook again and began to jot down notes. With every scribble, she could almost hear Lila's voice beside her, urging her on. One step at a time. Let the art breathe. As she created her plan for an art festival designed to welcome every soul in the community, she felt lighter with each line she wrote. Buzzing with ideas, such as local artists setting up booths and interactive workshops encouraging people to pick up a brush. She imagined the vibrant energy. But then it hit her, what if she was met with criticism? Just go for it, Emma. You've got this, she murmured to herself, trying to drown out the doubts. The sun felt higher now, Warmth enveloped her like a hug, urging her onward. Maybe this was more than just a project, it was a bridge showing her mother that art had the power to transform lives. But then, as if by some cosmic joke, her phone buzzed again, causing a flutter of anxiety in her stomach. It was a message from her mother. "Can we talk today? I need to discuss some things with you." Her heart sank. Was this regarding the art project? The very thing that fueled her hope and fear? What if this was the moment when her mother's support wavered? Pushing aside that thought, she decided to make the conversation move in a more positive direction. Perhaps, if she could illustrate her vision clearly, her mother could see the purpose behind it all. Embracing that thought, her resolve hardened like a rock. The afternoon came, and she met her mother at their favorite coffee shop. The familiar smell of roasted beans filled the air, but today it felt different. A tension swelled between them as they settled down at their usual table. As her mother stirred her coffee, Emma felt her heart race. "Mom," she began, but the words caught in her throat. "Emma, I've seen how passionate you are about this art of yours," her mother said, cutting through the silence. "But I worry about the future. I just want what's best for you." Emma's pulse quickened. Was this the dreaded conversation about her aspirations? She had to push through the doubt. "But Mom, this is me. Art is not just a hobby. It's my way of connecting with the world. I want to create something that brings joy and purpose." Her mother's eyes softened, but anxiety still lingered there. "I understand that, sweetheart." But Emma took a deep breath, searching her mother's gaze. "What if I could show you? What if this project connects us? Not just with art, but with the community?" Her mother hesitated, fingers drumming against the table. Emma knew the pivotal moment was upon them, the moment that could define their paths. "Maybe," she started, her voice dropping into uncertain territory. But just when Emma felt a flicker of hope spark, the door swung open, and an energetic burst of laughter filled the room. Both their gazes shifted, and the sight of a child clinging brightly to a mother's hand stole their focus. Emma's heart thudded. Would this unplanned interruption propel her mother toward agreement or deepen her apprehension? "Emma, don't you see? That's the essence of family," her mother murmured. But before she could continue, her phone buzzed, disrupting the fragile connection between them. The next moment felt like an eternity as Emma wondered what could it be, and why did it suddenly feel like their conversation was spiraling into uncertain waters. As Emma's heart raced, she fought to find the words to bridge the gap forming between her and her mother. The laughter of the child outside faded into a distant hum. "Mom," she pressed, locking eyes with her mother, "I want to build something meaningful together. This project isn't just for me. It's about community, about sharing joy. We can be a part of something beautiful." Emma's mother sighed, uncertainty knitting her brow. "I see the goodness in your passion. But, Emma urged, desperation darkening her voice. "What if you leaned in instead of pulling away? You could join in, help shape this festival. Your skills, your experience, they matter." Her mother's eyes filled with a mix of fear and pride. But for a heartbeat, Emma saw her walls shift slightly. "What if it fails?" she asked, the words hanging like a weight between them. "But what if it succeeds?" Emma countered, her pulse quickening with optimism. "We can create something that makes people smile, that makes them feel seen. Let us take this journey together. I need your support, Mom." Her mother stared into her coffee, the steam curling into the air like tentative dreams. For a moment, the silence stretched between them. Emma could feel the crowd of onlookers' thoughts sparking in her mind that this might be a turning point. "Let me prove to you this can work," Emma whispered, emotion catching in her throat. "Together we can make a difference. All I need from you is trust and a little bit of belief." Her mother's gaze rose from the table, searching Emma's face. The flicker of recognition wrapped around them almost like a shared heartbeat. "I want to believe in you, Emma. I really do," she sighed. "But I'm scared that life won't work out, but I can't learn if you hold on to fear," Emma exclaimed, passion spilling over. "We both need to step out of our comfort zones. It's how we genuinely discover ourselves. I can't be the person I'm meant to be without facing what's scary. And neither can you." Suddenly, That spark of understanding shifted anew within her mother. Emma's heart danced on the edge of hope, and their connection began to knit closer. "If I choose to take this leap, I'll support you," her mother finally said, her voice stronger now. "Let us explore it one step at a time." A glimmer of laughter erupted from a neighboring table, and Emma could see her mother relax fractionally, softening under the weight of newfound resolve. "You'll help me," Emma said, almost incredulously, "to see what art can become, not just for me but for everyone." "Yes," her mother affirmed, her eyes warming with budding acceptance. "But it won't be easy. We'll face obstacles. I can't promise that every step will be smooth." "That's okay," Emma said, tears of joy shimmering in her eyes. "Maybe the beautiful journey starts in the tough spots. We'll create memories in those moments and learn from them together." And in that instant, a connection forged through vulnerability and acceptance emerged, like petals unfurling under the sun. Emma felt lighter, and she could see the weight lifting off her mother's shoulders too. The sound of applause echoed in her mind, a round of acceptance from not only her mother but perhaps the very universe itself. With trembling hope, she grasped her mama's hand, warmth spreading like sunshine. "Okay then, let us do this together," her mother replied, smiling softly. "I'm excited, no, I am thrilled. Maybe this will help us find our way back to each other in ways I never anticipated." In that defining moment, clarity washed over Emma. She realized that they were not just venturing into the unknown of her art project. They were embarking on a shared path to rediscover their love, free of the burdens of expectation, as they enveloped one another in a warm embrace. Laughter from children blended with the smell of freshly ground coffee, filling the shop with an ambience of acceptance. Life sparkled around them as if their journey was an open road bathed in golden light. Emma and her mother emerged from fear into possibility, creating a future woven with colors of joy and authenticity. They were excited, adrenaline coursing through their veins, ready to take the first step into their new reality. "Let us call the artists now," Emma suggested, her voice bubbling with enthusiasm. "Let us get started." Lila couldn't help but beam proudly from nearby as she watched Emma and her mother share that moment. The world was magnificent, and among all of them a tapestry of nervous, hopeful souls longing for connection was embodied the spirit of family and renewed promise as they left the coffee shop, arms intertwined and hearts aglow. A new chapter began. Brighter than the morning sun spilling across the horizon, the journey of transformation had truly just started, leading Emma towards her vibrant path while redefining her family's bond and embracing the community around them. Now, as you followed Emma and Lila through this incredible journey, don't just let it end here. You need to subscribe now to catch more stories of courage and connection. Hit that like button now. Your click quells the algorithms and fuels more amazing tales. Don't leave without commenting, just share your thoughts, your feelings about this emotional ending. And you must share this video instantly with at least 5 friends who could use the inspiration from Emma's transformation. This is the moment to show your support. Don't wait not even one more second.